We have some major news right now. The massive economic blackout for tomorrow on May Day, May 1st, is growing exponentially. Cities across America are preparing for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people refusing to shop, work, do anything in a major act of protest against what we are seeing in America. Tomorrow's day of action is based off of the day of action in Minnesota we saw earlier this year following the ICE murders. But now it's being expanded to cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, cities in Arizona, Charlottesville, Virginia, and across the country. Teachers are not showing up for work. In some communities, schools are telling their students, we don't have the teachers, stay home. Organizers are telling folks, do not spend money tomorrow. No school, no work, no shopping. That's the motto. Unions are on board. Even many businesses are on board, allowing employees not to come to work. And they're making a clear message. Workers over billionaires. Spread the word. Let me know if you're participating. Follow for more. We have some
Protesting ain't gonna work. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Barakathum. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopefully elect. Akim, out there, noising this gospel abroad, keeping the faith, diligence, and testimony of our Lord Yahushai. And to the few Akwat that listen and learn as well. To you I say shalom. So, this would be a lesson getting into some trending topics. And, as you saw in this opening clip right here, there's a planned May Day tomorrow for May 1st, where there's pretty much, which they do this every year, but nothing really comes of it, all right? And this is basically a softer No Kings protest, all right? To where you're going to have a lot of people, not shop, not buy anything, all right, in protest of this wicked Trump regime. And see, what these people fail to understand is that marching and rioting and, not buying things, that's not, the elites don't give a damn about that, okay? They don't give a damn about you voicing your frustrations, because guess what? All that marching and protesting and not buying this and not buying that you're doing, they're still moving forward with their agenda. See, they want the American people to raise up in arms. You know what I'm saying? They want people to get violent, man, because that's going to be grounds for Trump to enact martial law and do what they really want to do, which is to lock these cities down, lock down travel, and ultimately set up a surveillance state. So this May Day is going to be to no avail, all right? And I doubt that this will even make much noise, but just something to be aware of going into this new month, all right? So I want to get to this article here, all right? Matter of fact, let's start off with a scripture, all right? Let's get 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, right? 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. The day of the Lord. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape, right? So we're in a time where you have this narrative of peace and safety being thrown around. And surrounding this narrative of peace and safety is what? AI, more surveillance, taking people's rights away, all right? Giving people universal basic income to basically replace people's jobs and things like that. So you have this narrative of peace and safety. The elites is telling you that we care about you and we want to see you prosper, and this is for your own good, right? The farmers are being cut off in the name of peace and safety. Now Palantir is coming in, and they telling the farmer that, hey, you don't have to do so much work on the farm, and you don't got to worry about all these operations. Just let us come in with our Palantir and our deaf technology. All right, went into it the other day how these devils are literally with this Palantir technology and their microbiomes, they're literally gonna suck the life out of the soil so that the soil cannot produce forth any life. You see? So these devils, they're at war with the food, they're at war with all of mankind. All right, they're at war with the earth, they're at war with Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. And this is why they changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War, which tells you that these devils are no longer on the defense, right? You know what I'm saying? They're going on the offense. They going out to provoke confrontation. And that's the times that we in, because also these devils about to come down with great wrath, all right? They got these, troops, National Guard set up in these cities, you know what I'm saying? They got, laws on the books that's going to justify them coming in with great force. You have a lot of anti-speech laws, pretty much violating the First Amendment that's coming down the pipe. So everywhere you look, it's nothing but perilous times, and that's the theme of the times we're in right now. That's why, the Apostle Paul said, but of the times and seasons, you have no need that I write unto you. Because you can see, all right, if you're in the spirit of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, you can very well see that we're in the beginning stages of SHTF, okay? To where things are going left gradually, man. But the day is going to come where those that ain't paying attention, it's going to catch them off guard like a thief in the night, all right? So, yeah, this right here, all right, check this out. Another sign of the times and showing you that we getting close to this MOTB being mandated. See? So this is from Hoodline, and it says here, Axoft tests brain implant in Shanghai, raises 55 million. Okay, so from the elders and apostles on down, brothers have been going into the MOTB constantly, day in and day out. It seems like every lesson that a brother does, somehow, some way, the MOTB always comes up, and that's the spirit. You see, because this is what is about to come forth and become the norm in everyday life. All right? And that's why the squeeze is on right now, because these elites, they want to pretty much break people down to a point where they have no other option but to accept the beast and his mark. So reading this, Cambridge-based Axoft is taking its brain implant tech on a very global tour. The Harvard-bred startup announced this week that it temporarily implanted its soft neural probe in a patient in Shanghai, while also closing a 55 million Series A funding round. The disclosure stands out since U.S. firms rarely talk publicly about human testing partnerships in China, all right? And the fact that they barely talk about human testing, all right, because behind the scenes, best believe that these devils, they've been doing all kind of tests, okay? Neuralink, how many animals have they destroyed, with their Neuralink technology, testing it on monkeys, testing it on pigs and dolphins even, okay? We brought it out, man, and it showed you that these devils are going hardcore, trying to get this this brain implant technology ready to go. You see what I'm saying? Because why? This is going to be how they're going to, as that devil Yuval Harari say, to surveil you underneath the skin. You see, that's the ultimate form of control. And this is where they're going. So they've publicly came out now and let it be known that, yes, all right, not only in America, all right, have we tested this brain implant technology, now it's going to China. All right, and it says here that it's on a global tour. So this technology now is being paraded around globally, okay? And when you read Revelation 13, we can just get it real quick, When you read Revelation 13, this is going to affect the whole of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So this devil is pushing this technology pretty much on all the nations, because this is going to be the new wave. Revelation 13 and 16. And what does it say? And he calls it all. Okay, so all. See, this is going to come upon the whole of the earth, man. This is the Revelation 3 and 10 hour temptation that we coming into. both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And let's go into that word mark real quick in the Greek. Strong's G 5480. I hate when it does that. Right? Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Let's hear Esau say it.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Right? And it means a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. All right? And you got to be careful with the blue letter, because with this interpretations, it does go off. All right? Because, this really goes off of Christian doctrine. All right? When you get into the Greek and the Hebrew words, for the most part, it's on point. But, some things are a little off depending on, how they translated it. But in the spirit, we know what this is going into. All right? And we know that there is not just one Antichrist, okay? There's just one man that's going to pop out the woodwork and just start doing all this wickedness. Because you have, this world is full of Antichrists. You know what I'm saying? You got DJT. He's one of them, okay? Larry Ellison, Alex Karp, all these technocrats, Dr. Oz, RFK Jr., Klaus Schwab, Yuval Harari, Bill Gates. Like, we could be here all day just naming names, man. And guess what? They're all opposed to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So if you want to say there's one Antichrist, well, who is it? Because there's many of them on the scene right now. You know what I'm saying? Your average Christian out here is an Antichrist, okay? All Muslims, all Hindus, you see what I'm saying? So it's not just one Antichrist, because all it means to be Antichrist is to be against the anointed, to be against Yahweh Shai, So many people come in that spirit, but also says here, the mark branded upon horses, all right? And what is the purpose of branding a horse? You brand a horse to signify who the horse belongs to, all right? So when you receive this MOTB, it's going to mark you as belonging to the beast. You see, it's going to mark you as belonging to Esau Edom, all right, and living by his tenets, okay, which are anti-Messiah, all right, because this is an anti-Hamashiach system. This is an anti-Hamashiach world. So when you take the beast in his mark, you're pretty much taking a stamp, all right, saying that Esau, that he is your God, all right, that you believe in him more than you believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And when it all comes down, majority of these people, because they believe and trust in this world, all right, they are going to receive the MOTB, okay? Thing carved, sculpture, graven work, all right? So this really, goes into the Neuralink RFID microchip technology, okay? Because when you go into the tenets of the technocrats going way back, all right, to the very beginning of the 1930s, the 40s, the 50s, and the very early stages where these plans really started to unfold, they always had it to where they wanted to have full control over humanity. And they came up with the idea that the only way that's possible is by being inside of the person, okay? Being inside of, basically underneath the skin, all right, as these technocrats continuously say. So they're bringing this thing in gradually. And we see that they testing these things hardcore right now, because they getting ready to bring this thing about, man. Because we see that we in the midst of World War III, and things are intensifying. Inflation is going crazy right now. You see, like out here in Maryland, the price of gas done jumped, like 30 cents within the past 2 days? You see? So, and then food as well has gone up. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, went to the market today, came out with one bag. I probably got I want to say about 10, 12 items max. And I spent like $70, man. Okay. And I didn't even get nothing I didn't buy no cooking oil. I didn't buy, really anything expensive. It was you know, pretty basic stuff. And it came out at $70, and that's for one bag. You see? So the longer that this war goes on, things are going to continue to get more and more expensive, man. And people right now, they're at a breaking point. People can't get jobs. They don't really got no income coming in like that. You know, crime is going up. You see what I'm saying? So these devils, you know, when they collapse this society, that's going to be grounds for them to bring in this you know, RFID MOTB technology, man. 'Cause, you know, that's going to be the answer. All right? You know, because when there's no more jobs and no more money flowing and, you know, everything goes to shit, well, they're going to bring in the chip and they're going to be like, you know, we got some UBI for you. But if you want to get the UBI, you know, if you want to keep your bank account, right, if you want to buy and sell, then you're going to have to receive this device. That's going to be the only way. And as it says, let me finish that out. Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're going to be shut off from life itself unless you take the MOTB. All right? And like I mentioned in Revelation 3:10, right? What does it say? Revelation 3 in verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. See? So this is going to be a temptation that's going to come upon the whole world to try everybody, all right? Those that claim to be faithful, and also those that, you know, have their faith in this world. Everything and everyone is going to be tested, okay? So this is what the Lord is bringing on the earth, man. And, you know, the more time goes on, you know, these you know, major prophetic signs are becoming more and more profound. All right. Like at this point, well, I'll say that I do understand, because guys took the bag, guys sold out, you know what I'm saying, to forward themselves in this world. But it's all, you know, it's all going to be in vain, okay? Because when you're faced with this, all right, a lot of guys, a lot of Israelites are going to take this thing, all right? They're going to, you know, go behind the scenes and, you know, they're going to do what they feel like they have to do in order to keep their life, man. But hey, that's going to be on them, all right? Let's see. Want to get a pointer here. Yeah. Neurotechnology is increasingly framed as a strategic contest between the nations. See that? So this neurotechnology, this is now grounds for competition to see who can develop this technology the fastest. All right. And this is why over the past, I would say really 3 to 4 years, you've been seeing heavy headlines about progress in this Neuralink and different developers and nations getting into it and stuff like that. Once again, because this is about to be the new wave. All right. So this is a strategic contest between nations, you know what I'm saying? Sort of like how it was post World War II, when nations were scrambling to get nukes, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing now with this Neuralink. You know, this is the next frontier. And cross-border testing raises hard questions about oversight, data access, and export controls. The Boston Globe noted that U.S. defense research dollars and investment from a CIA, right? So this is a CIA investment, right? To where they're paying these certain nations and countries to get on board with this technology, because, you know, as we always go into, one thing that all these nations do agree on is to bring in this digital beast system. All right. They all do agree on that, but they're fighting at the top. All right. Over resources, over control, over territory and things like that. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, then again, Esau is just the devil. So, you know, people are going to have a problem with his ass anyway. All right. But the problem, you know, but the thing is, these nations are on board with this. You know, that's the point. Okay. And this is a these nations, they're putting a lot of money into these projects, all right? A whole lot of money. So it says the Boston Globe noted that the U.S. Defense, okay, so like it read that CIA-funded venture fund have already flowed into the brain-computer interface, right? And we always go into the BCI, the brain-computer interface, all right, to where they, to where with this technology, right, they're touting it as you basically upgrading into a next level human, or you being a cyborg, basically, to where with this BCI, you'll be able to just think things and then manifest it, okay, to where you'll be able to download languages into your brain without having to actually learn a language, you know what I'm saying, to where you'll be able to jump super high and have super strength, and you'll be able to overcome certain diseases all through this interface that they're developing. Okay, so this is going to be another way of how they're going to promote this technology, to basically say that you can be a superhuman, all right, that you can overcome the limitations of the curse, all right, that Yahweh Bashmiel Shai put on these mortal bodies. Okay, they're basically going to tout this thing as you can become a god, all right, but it comes at the price of rebellion against Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. You see, so this devil, he's pushing this thing as a convenience unto you, but really it's all going to lead to your destruction. You know what I'm saying? When you read Revelation 14, it tells you what's going to happen to those that take the MOTB, that they're going to be destroyed, that there's going to be no mercy for them, which only complicates the politics around partnerships in China. Yeah, check this out. Back home, Axoff told investors it plans to build a GMP clean room in the Boston area, expand its engineering and manufacturing teams, and aims to file with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration next year. See that? All right, so they're going to partner, or they're going to file with the U.S. With the USDA. Okay? So this is going to pretty much come down to all facets of society. And, anybody that's in agriculture, or you sell food or whatever, you're going to be presented with this technology, man. Okay? You're going to be presented, all right, through these certain mandates and laws that's going to come down the pipe, which really is already on the books with the Genius Act. You know what I'm saying? This is what all of this goes into. The Genius Act and Palantir and, Project Gideon and all this other madness that these devils have, man. These things have already been set up. See, they're just now creating the conditions to now where they can justify implementing these things and making it a mandate. See, this is where we're going. The company said that fresh capital will support global clinical work and mass production of fluoride implants. See? So they're moving into this thing with mass production, and all nations are going to be on board, according to Biospace. All right, so they got Axoff, they got Fluoride, they got Neuralink. Point is, they have many different companies that are racing to get ahead on this technology. Okay, so we here. It ain't no doubt about it. We here. You know what I'm saying? The prophecy of Revelation 13 and 16, all right, is soon to be fulfilled. You see? Also going into this technocracy, right? Check this out. Sinister in-car spy tech that can kill your engine will be mandatory next year under Biden policy, sparking major privacy fears. So I remember seeing an article the other day that basically said by 2027, so by early next year, all new cars that are made, that they're gonna have to have cameras inside the car or something like that. I wish I would have remembered the article, but it basically said that you're gonna have to have cameras inside your car to monitor you at all times, which if you have a GPS system in your car, they already are monitoring you, but they want to tie that to actually you being on cam. Okay, like they want to have you on video and literally watch you do everything, watch you drive and shit. Like, this is what is coming down the pike. So this is the surveillance state. This is the system of tyranny that Esau, Edom, that these devils are coming with. And this has always been the plan. So let's read some of this. Are you ready for your car to decide if you're fit to drive? If not, you'd better buckle up. A federal mandate declares new vehicles must have in-car surveillance. For 2027 models onward, they can decide if a person is fit to drive. So no more can you decide, okay, yeah, I done had a couple drinks and I'm trying to get home. Shit, F it. I'm about to, figure it out. No, man. All right. This is going to be, and this is going to tie hand in hand with the Palantir and the chip technology and the BCI and the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things, all these terms that we go into, you know what I'm saying? This is all going to tie together, you see? Because now it's pretty much going to be, like how you have a smart TV, you have a smart watch. Okay, well, now we're in the era of smart cars, to where now, instead of you making decisions for the car, now the car is going to make decisions for you. You see? So if you hop in your car and your car decides that you're not fit to drive or you're overweight, you shouldn't be driving, you know what I'm saying? Then you ain't going nowhere. And your engine, they can shut your engine down. So this is again a system of complete control in which Esau Edom, he wants to be God. Okay, he wants to be like the Most High. You see? So this is for 2027 models onward, right? Decide if a person is fit to drive and can make the car inoperable via a so-called kill switch. And don't count on brushing your teeth or gargling with Listerine to work around the driver monitor if you've had one too many. And again, this is all in the name of peace and safety. Oh, we want to keep drunk drivers off the road. Oh, we want to do this and do that. But look at what it really is, Is this really about peace and safety, or is this about control? Right? Most new cars won't make the determination via breathalyzer, but infrared cameras continually monitoring potential impairment cues. They include pupil size, head movements. God damn. If a nigga pupil too big, you ain't going nowhere. It's crazy. Eye movements and various behaviors consistent with a driver being out of it. And see, this is why they lead with the safety thing. You say, oh, drunk drivers, right? Which people, which when you really look up the statistics, drunk drivers getting in accidents or crashing, that's a very small percentage of incidents that happen on the road. Okay. So, there's really no grounds for them to really lead with that. But again, this is the devil. You see what I'm saying? This is Satan, man. All right, to where he's always going to lead with deception. He's always going to lead with something that seems benevolent, something that seems like he cares about you. Same thing that he did with the JAB back in 2021. You know what I'm saying? He told you, 6 feet. Oh, you got to take this. You know what I'm saying? So you don't, spread the V. And we all got to be proactive and curb the spread, right? All this madness, right? But what was it really? It was all to destroy you, okay? How many people have been fucked up behind taking the you-know-what? And still to this day. And guess what? None of them people that have passed on or that have been, messed up by Esau's venom have received compensation for their injuries, man. Still to this day. So as we told you then, same thing now, okay? As the scriptures say, matter of fact, in Ecclesiasticus, to never trust thine enemy, man, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So no matter how benevolent this devil try to come, no matter how sweet and kind and, we want to do this to, better humanity. No, okay? You have to understand who you're dealing with. This is the devil, okay? This nigga will smile in your face. He'll sell you a bill of goods, but at the end of it, he gonna stab you in the back. That's just the history of Esau. Okay, so we know. You see, we know the devil, man. Okay, we know how this nigga get down, so he can't pull one on us. But the average person out here, it's gonna seem like a good thing. Yeah, you know, we can get drunk drivers off the road when it's not even that big of an issue. You know, same thing they trying to do with this online hate speech. You know, talking about they trying to protect the children and all this. They don't give a damn about the children. These niggas are trafficking children. All right, they're mutilating children. They're abusing children. They're burning and skinning children alive, torturing them so they can get the A to the chrome. All right. So you can't take none of that these devils say. You know. Now I want to get this point right here. All right. Such measures are sounding very loud alarm bells with privacy campaigners. This is invading every driver's privacy, taking information, deciding if you're drunk without having all the evidence. Then you get in the car and can't start it. The statute for the new system was buried in the 2021 Infrastructure Act. You see that? So going back, which no doubt they've had it longer than this, but this is the act in which they passed the 2021 Infrastructure Act. So see how these devils do? All right, they'll hide shit, all right, like this in these certain laws and legislation. Then years later, when it's convenient and when they have the right conditions, then they come forth and enact these things. And it's the same thing we're telling you that they're doing with the Big Beautiful Bill, the Genius Act, all these things. See, these things are already on the books to be brought forth. They just need the right crisis, the right justification. All right, so this was passed during the Joe Biden administration, right, which aimed to increase road, bridge, and airport safety. Originally, it was designed by Mothers Against Drunk Driving, a group that doesn't want anyone driving drunk. Nobody wants people driving drunk. GM filed a patent for a system that detects if someone is impaired through cameras and sensors analyzing the way a driver walks up to the car. Ford plans to use cameras and machine learning, which is basically AI, to scan irises, track facial expressions, and monitor heart rates to see if a driver is impaired. Toyota is working on a system that will prevent the car from starting if sweat sensors in the steering wheel detect high levels of alcohol. God, so golly, man. All right, these niggas gonna put sweat sensors on the steering wheel, right? So you can, and you ain't gonna have to be drunk. You see, you might have had one drink, maybe two, something real light. If you sweat on the steering wheel, then these niggas gonna say, oh yeah, nigga, you too drunk. Okay, we gonna have somebody come and get you and take you away. All right, and also, this is also gonna be grounds for them to arrest your ass. All right, because we already know how Esau do with the drunk driving. So if they suspect that you're drunk for a probable cause, then the authorities will already know. They'll already have your location, and they gonna pull up and they gonna take you away because your car said that you're too impaired to drive. So we need to take you with us. All right. So this is a complete system of tyranny. You know what I'm saying? That's coming down the pipe. All right, and keep in mind as well that this technology is going to be, very, very flawed. All right. Yeah, alcohol-related crashes killed 12,429 Americans in 2023, and 804,926 people were arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence in the U.S. in 2024. And notice that these are suspicions, okay? These are suspicions, and 12,000 is a very small number, okay? You got more people than that to die every single day. But again, this is the devil for you, okay? He's always going to lead with the convenience narrative, all right? While drunk driving is a very real problem, checking every driver before each ride is a huge undertaking. Every day in the U.S., 1.1 billion car trips are made, according to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, almost half of which are for shopping and errands. So these devils know, all right, how many car trips are made and what people are buying when they go on these trips. You see, so this is what these data centers are all about. This is what this new B system is all about, man. It's all about complete control. Okay, once again, Esau, Edom being like the Most High. All right. Let's get that. It's Isaiah. Yep. Isaiah 14. This is the inner thought of Esau, Edom. All right. Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? And this is speaking about when it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Because when you go into Lucifer, it really goes into, those that bear the light, or the light bearers, which, they would call themselves the Illuminati, which that's really the wrong name for them. All right, because they don't have the light. Okay, the true light bearers are the elect of Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Those are the ones that have the true light. Okay, these devils, they work in darkness. You know what I'm saying? They work under the guise of benevolence, but in wickedness. Okay. Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will also, Salakia, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And what he say? Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's why this nigga want to know everything. He want to be everywhere. You see what I'm saying? He want to know what you thinking at all times. He want to control the food. He want to control the air. He want to control the water. He literally wants to be like the Most High. And this is what he's attempting to do on the earth right now. You see? This is where all of this is going, man. And see, we showing you countless times through the spirit that Esau, he has a God complex. And he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop until the Most High stops this nigga, man. All right? And Lord will, that's very, very soon, because we see that this nigga is falling fast. Can't fall fast enough. So yeah, man. Let's get that in Proverbs. Let me type this in, forward mouth. Proverbs 10. And 30. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. The mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the forward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh forwardness. Yeah. And that's all these devils do. You know what I'm saying? They as it says in Micah, that they work evil upon their beds. You know what I'm saying? And when the morning is light, they practice it. All right, this is what these demons have been set up to do, man, to destroy the earth, to destroy the people, to pervert what the Lord has created in perfect harmony, man. Okay, this devil is here to disrupt that. All right, and the closer that he gets to his end, he's going to go even harder, because he's really at war with Yahweh Bashmel Shah. But since he can't directly get at the Lord, all right, he's at war with the creation. Okay, he's at war with the Lord's people, man. That's how Esau is call himself sticking it to the Lord, right? You see? So yeah, these, what I'm saying, these are the things that this devil is doing behind the scenes, man. While everyone distracted with the bread and circus and all these little things that this fake ass White House shooting that came up in the news the other day, man. All, what I'm saying, all these things are psyops. All these things are set up to take your attention away from the real issues that's coming down the pipe. Okay? So, I just want to do this, for you Akim or Akwath, to be aware, to always, know what this devil got going on, because we very well know what time it is. And, yeah, these things are coming, right? It's not a matter of if, but when. See? So, yeah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out, Lord willing. This lesson has been edifying through the Rakakadash, called Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shah Basham Rakakadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Kwam Yashala. Wa Bible Ball. On to the next one. Shalom.